Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome to a brand new show which I am calling Creating Our Own, our first ever Patreon exclusive show. As well, besides the whole behind the scenes video I did ages ago, and what this show focuses on is my idea, well basically over the past few years, or just over the course of my life in general, I've had so many game ideas kicking around my head. I've told them to quite a few people, I've wrote them down on my phone. When I wake up late nights, I'm like, oh, I've got this fucking cool idea in my head, let's jot this down. And I have tons for everything. I have a Fallout game, I have survival horror games, I have RPGs, I have Resident Evils, and Resident Evils, because I actually did a video ages ago on Resident Evil 8, or the Asylum idea, as I called it. And yeah, that one people liked, that people loved. And I decided to stick with it, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do more of these kind of videos, because I really do, I want to get these ideas out there, even if I'm not a game developer, so I need somewhere to project these ideas to, and I don't want to hold on to all of them in case when I'm 40 or mid-30s and be like, hey, I might take up game development. I think that would be a smart idea. Probably should have been a smart idea for me, you know, bit late for that now, isn't it? But yeah, this won't be like any other of my other videos. As you see, I've got quite a setup going. I have a... Oh wait, never mind, Audacity screens in the background, shit. As you see, I have a survival horror background there to spice up the middle a little bit. I've got a table, and every week this table is going to be different as well. So right now we have horror focus sort of stuff. I've got a zombie incense holder burning incense right now, which is fucking sick. I got Resident Evil pops. I've got a Five Nights at Freddy's one. I don't know where that came from. Honestly, I have no idea. So, don't take me for a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I have no idea how I got it. Probably was a gift. I don't know. So yeah, today for my first episode, I was like, what genre should I kickstart with first? Well, I decided to go with survival horror. Now, the reason why I decided to go with that is because that genre and those kind of videos that I did, or still do on the channel, are my pride ones. My pride and glory? Is it a pride and glory? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I don't know what the saying is. But basically, it's the thing that kickstarted my channel. It's the thing that got it going, and I wanted to stick with it, and I always will stick with it. So I was like, yeah, let's make that the first episode of the Creating of Our Own. Yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, and I had plenty of ideas to choose from. I actually earlier today I was like, what idea should I go with the first? And I sat there for a good 15 minutes, rummaging through all my old ideas from back to 2014, my notepad said, and I was like, yeah, let's go with that idea. That idea is probably one of the best. So yes, get ready, sit back, relax, and get ready to dive into the world, the horrifying world of the unknown. Set on the mysterious Ward estate, the unknown follows a brooding and bitter private detective called Asher, who is on a desperate search to find his lost sister. After his investigation leads him to the Ward estate, Asher hires a boat and rides out to greet the Ward family. And this is where our story begins. When the boat docks on the island, starting Asher on his fun wee adventure, he is warned by the boat's captain that the island is not quite what it seems and to always be on his toes. On his way up to the manor, Asher discovers notes containing hints and clues as to what to expect from the Ward family, and given a wee bit of backstory as to the happenings of the island. When he finally enters the manor, he is greeted by the head of the house, Theodore Ward. After having a brief discussion with him about Asher's business on the island, Theodore becomes hostile towards Asher and warns him of the consequences of being on the island. The story will take Asher throughout the estate, from the narrowing hallways of the Ward Manor to the dark, man-made caves of the island. Each new area has a new stalker-like character. The first being Theodore's son, Adam, who actively taunts the player as he pursues them with a large pair of shields. As you'll notice throughout the course of this video, yeah, this game is definitely inspired by things like Clock Tower, Haunting Grounds, Silent Hill, and Resident Evil. All these games blessed into one little cool idea, and it's actually really cool, especially with the Clock Tower thing. I've always been fascinated, and I've always been not scared, but just fascinated with the Scissor Man. And the Scissor Man is, yeah, he chases people with giant scissors. And I was like, we should have a reference of that in this game somewhere. So I gave the twin, oh, he is a twin by the way, I forgot, we'll get into that in a wee bit, but Adam, he basically carries around a large pair of shears. They're kind of like the ones you see in Outlast, see the doctor person? Basically him, but larger. So he has to run around like this, you know? Basically the Scissor Man, but with shears. He's a shear man. After Adam is initially defeated, he is later joined by his twin sister Elise, who begin to stalk Asher throughout the manor's gardens. After they are defeated, then comes the mother Margaret, who has extreme psychic powers and can cause doors to disappear and summons more dark beings to help her. One thing I didn't really describe in the script there, the whole doorway thing. So yeah, as you're going through the map of the unknown, you have doors to unlock, you have doors to go through, and then as you're going down, you're probably like, okay, if you take this route, I'll look at my map now, if I go through this route, go through this doorway, I can hit the save room. And when you're with Margaret, you don't get that, because she knows she's always one step ahead of your planning. If she thinks you're escaping to the save room, if she thinks you're just going anywhere that leads to safety, she will try and like interrupt your path. So that means taking away doors that lead to save rooms, taking away doors that lead to corridors and more ammo, stuff like that. Then finally there is Theodore Ward, who serves more as a final boss than a stalker. He has the power of invisibility and teleportation, and even says to Asher that he has been stalking him from the very beginning. But where does this story lead? What happens to Asher at the end? Well, he does end up defeating the Ward family, if he gets the neutral or good endings, which you get by collecting notes and completing side objectives in the game. Before we actually get to the ending though, there's a wee bit of backstory to this game and a good wee reveal that happens throughout the game that should be covered before we get into the ending to make the story kind of make sense a little bit. Through cutscenes with stalkers and notes found throughout the estate, it is revealed that the Wards have been the head family of an ancient cult, a cult that aims to free a certain god from his entrapment in a lost city. This god being Cthulhu. Yes, that is right. More Cthulhu stuff. This game is based inside the Cthulhu mythos, so you're gonna have certain gods and all that. Maybe like not like the entire game and the stories and the notes and stuff like that. There isn't gonna be like, hey, did you hear about this place in the Lovecraft mythos? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? No, it's going to be entirely its own self-contained story that just so happens to like reference a lot of Cthulhu, and not necessarily be about him, but be about the story of Asher, and he's just kind of involved. He's just kind of there. In an attempt to free him, the family and their followers believe that performing various rituals, usually involving human sacrifices, could give Cthulhu the power needed to awaken. This was not the case though. What actually ended up happening was the cult did not awaken Cthulhu, but unleashed the god of fear, Motholos? Let's call him Motholos. Fucking hell, I can't pronounce his name. It's a character, it's a fucking god that I created out the top of my head. I'm like, what cool name can I give this? Because I need it to be like otherworldly, nothing you can pronounce. You know, like Cthulhu, there's a million different ways to pronounce that. And there's only like one correct variation of it because it's meant to be said by an alien tongue, and I wanted this name to be similar. So I'll put it on the screen right now. It's like right there, maybe, and it's called Motholos. I'm gonna call him Motholos. That'd be that. That seems cool. But yes, I did. I created my own god. So now that you know that, let's get back to the endings. After the Wards are defeated, Asher faces Motholos in his portal in an attempt to close it, which he does if he gets the neutral and good endings. The neutral ending has Asher finding his sister already sacrificed by the Wards, leading to the final boss fight and Motholos's and the Wards' final defeat. He returns to the boat, but the captain does not believe his story. The good ending, however, has Asher finding his sister alive but injured after she escaped Theodore in the caves. The same events transpire with the boss fight and such, but they both end up on the boat at the end, with the captain believing Asher's tale. With the bad ending, well, games like this always need a bad ending, and this one is probably just as brutal as every other like horror game bad ending. Basically, everyone's fucked. That is this ending. The world is facing imminent destruction. Asher is defeated at the hands of Motholos and loses his mind. He is then served as the final sacrifice, with it being revealed that the twins and the mother are actually still alive. Motholos is unleashed onto the world fully, and everything is fucked. The world ends, that's it. Everyone just loses their mind, everyone goes crazy. The Wards are probably rewarded for their actions, I would say, but obviously they would still be like servants and slaves to this fucking massive god. So like if they decide it's like, oh yeah, we kind of fucked up, There's no coming back from that. You ended the world. There is no killing this weird fucking god that doesn't really have any physical manifestation. Yeah, so that was the story. That was basically the overarching story of the game. And yeah, and I realised I've not even really talked about the gameplay elements yet, so let's move on to that. The Unknown follows the classic survival horror setup with fixed camera angles, limited resources in combat, and a good backtracking system. Unlike other modern survival horror games that aim to bring back this classic setup, The Unknown will have full AAA quality and polish with beautiful graphics and stability. Because I've noticed a lot during the last 5 years that there is a resurgence of survival horror games, not in AAA quality though, which I'm quite disappointed by. Like, the only AAA kind of horror games, survival horror games we've seen is Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 7, Evil Within 2, and unless I'm blanking some, in which is a bad case for them, I would say that's probably it, yeah. And with a good taste of when I was playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, this is really refreshing, like a true AAA experience in survival horror, which has a ton of replayability, has a ton of things to do. It's just it's just amazing. Like, it's probably one of those survival horror games where you can put probably 50 hours in, maybe 40 hours in, just the amount of times you can replay it. It's incredible. And you're probably asking yourselves, like, 40 or 50 hours for a single player game? That's fucking outrageous. Well, for horror games nowadays, people barely scratch that 8 hour mark, never mind 40, 50 hours. So, yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying like games like Visual, Fear the Dark Unknown, and all that are going to be bad games. It just won't have the same polish. You get what I mean? Like, it won't have the same quality to them, because they're all made. I'm pretty sure both of them are being made by mainly one person who's actually sitting there developing it through an engine. Compared to all these teams that have probably hundreds of members all working in the game. So that's what I want The Unknown to be. That's what I want. I don't want it just to be like, oh yeah, 3 people sitting in a room or something like that, be like, alright, let's load up the Unity engine or the Unreal Engine 4 because it's free and try to make the game that way. No, it's like I want true AAA quality from a AAA studio. What studio could that be? I have no fucking clue. Probably not Konami. Don't want that happening. Combat works similar to the classic Resident Evil and Silent Hill games, with the player being able to find a variety of weapons throughout the Warden estate. These weapons include the starting revolver, shotgun, hunting rifle, and then finally a Tommy gun. All these weapons, excluding the revolver, can all be obtained optionally through various puzzles designed to unlock them. Yeah, so a fun part about this game is, like, I feel like in Resident Evil and in Silent Hill, when you come across weapons, they're all usually just kind of lying there, unless it's with Resident Evil and you're like, oh, I need a key to unlock the door to get it, or I need to get a replica of a shotgun and do the whole Indiana Jones switcheroo sort of thing. No, in this game, you can completely miss it if you just don't look. There are certain rooms that you can get into, but they're completely optional. So like when you go into the room, it won't say it has a weapon in it. There's not going to be like a display case. It's like, there is the shotgun. No, you just walk in, normal room, and you have to figure out the puzzle. It's like an escape room kind of thing, and you have to figure out the puzzle to unlock the weapon. The game will usually hint towards you by like saying, oh, here is some shotgun ammo. Because we assume you have the shotgun right now, and you're like 5 hours into the game, and you're like, I just have the revolver. Was I meant to find a shotgun? Yes, you were meant to find a shotgun. If you investigated some rooms, you would have found it and solved the puzzle. Ammo for these weapons are very scarce at first, but after a few skill upgrades, you can return to already explored areas to find previously hidden items. More on the skill system in just a wee second. The enemies in this game are very interesting due to the fact that they are either deformed reincarnations of previous ward sacrifices, old cult members, or spawns of the god Mytholis himself. Or themselves. Himself? I don't know. The most common type of enemy will be the spawns of the god, as they are designed around Asher's personal fears. Very similar to like the enemy designs of Silent Hill 2 with the nurse and the pyramid head. They're all like weird manifestations of James's personality and James's fears and all that. And fears, I think it was more like sexual as well, especially with the nurses. Apparently the nurses were inspired by, what was it, James, was it James was always seen his wife, Mary, at the hospital, and he felt guilty because he found the nurses attractive even though he was still there with his wife. So that's why the nurses in the game are there, and that's why they're kind of like, they appear the way they do. A big problem for the player though is telling apart real threats to fake ones. What I mean by this is that with all this, it causes characters to hallucinate, so you could end up just going up against an enemy, so you could start wasting ammo on something that just isn't there. There is a tell to what's real and what's not, but in the moment, when you're actually going up against the enemy, or at least you think you're going up against the enemy, it's extremely difficult to notice the key tell if it's fake or not. Now on to that skill system I was talking about. From collecting notes into completing side objectives to killing enemies, you will earn experience points that will allow you to unlock certain abilities for Asher. These skills vary from perception upgrades that will allow the player to find more ammo and easily tell apart real enemies to fake ones, to a skill that improves Asher's aim, allowing him to get more headshots. What I like about this is like, yes, there is a reward to killing enemies, but you're wasting ammo to kill enemies, and if you think in your head, you're like, but if I kill this enemy, get enough experience points to level up Asher, then he can go back, find more ammo, but at the same time, like, ammo's already scarce, so like, if you unlock the ability to find ammo, then you're just going back and replacing the ammo that you just wasted. So yeah, it's like, there's like, you basically have to think about what you're putting your points into. There is like a variety of options you can put your points into, and to upgrade Asher, so yeah, just definitely think about it. I'm saying to you, like, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, definitely think about this, because this game's going to come out. Maybe it will come out in the future, I don't know. Maybe the skill system will just be scrapped by that point. I have no idea. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot there is a melee combat system, but the weapons are like durable, so that means it's kind of like in Resident Evil 2 Remake actually, where the knife is, you can break it, but instead of like just the knife in this game, you have a crowbar, you have a wrench, you do have a knife. You even have scissors at one point. Like, all these items can be used as defense items and can just be used as normal melee weapons as well. By the way, that looked weird in the camera, but I was doing like the whole see Resident Evil 4 and the whole knife thing. That's what I was doing there. just to clarify that. The world stays expansive and there's a lot of ground to cover while searching for Asher's sister, but the worlds do not make this search easy. Many areas of the manor and other areas are locked up using special keys. They can only be obtained either through a complex puzzle or through a boss fight. For example, you can get a key that unlocks the gardens when you defeat Adam for the first time, that has a key around his neck. Survival horror is one of my favourite genres, like I said at the start of the video, so it was really good just to come up with an idea and just have some fun with it, you know? Up next in creating our own is me diving into the role-playing genre, which like you already know from the channel, RPGs are the second big genre on my channel, so you have survival horror, RPGs, and then Fallout. So yeah, we're going to be covering all three of them on the creating our own series. But next up is role playing, because I have a good fucking game idea that's been in my head for years and I always wanted to make it, so I cannot wait to talk about it in the next video. It's going to be so fun. You guys are definitely going to like it. Thank you all for watching and being just amazing patrons. I appreciate it so much. When I was literally like a couple of months ago, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I should really be doing a lot more on my Patreon. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm not doing enough. I really need to do more. And so I sat there, like, literally there was a massive document of ideas and just ways I can in ways I can like restructure the Patreon. So now we do have the whole key system in there. So we have not the whole key system, the household thing in there. So you have the key to the house, resident of the house, was a guard of the house, and then head of the house. So yeah, all those different tiers have all different little perks to them as well. But right now I want to thank all the residents of the household, of the Bundycott household, and that is Simon 609 Devil and Proxy 1. Thank you for support on the channel, it means a lot. Thank you. So yeah, that's it for this episode, guys. Tell me what you think about this, by the way, down in the comments below. I really want feedback on this. I want to improve on this series, because I'm actually quite excited. I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited to do this series, and it's going to be a load of fun. So yeah, guys, thank you all for watching, and I shall see you later. Bye-bye.